name is Carl Hoff, and I wanted to discuss the model that I had Brandon correcting for me for the mesh error. This is a packing of my latest puzzle ring. I'm calling it WOW5. That's Wrap O-Round Weave 5. Before I get into this real quick, let me give you a quick introduction to the Weave 5 pattern. It was actually invented by Bram Cowan. He prefers to work with ASCII art, so this is what it started off looking like. Typically you'd make a ring that looks sort of like this, where you have straight sections at the end where there's extra material that can be removed or added to change the size of the ring. Except I didn't like this extra part, so I'm trying to make one where the weave pattern itself extends all the way around the ring. So I basically chopped that off on both sides and end up with something like this. This here still has some problems. Look at the orange band here. You'll see it goes over the yellow and under the red. So at this point here, the orange is occupying the top half of the ring. Here it's occupying the bottom half of the ring. So this piece is connected to this piece basically just along an edge. In reality, you can't have that, so there's still problems here. So I did some more tweaking to get the actual dimensions I wanted. And it ended up looking like this. So this is now the weave pattern. Orange again is going over yellow and under red. Here it's in the top half, here it's in the bottom half, but here there's a section between the two where the orange extends all the way from the top to the bottom, so that helps connect those two pieces. So now let's close paint and go into this. Here is the packing that I was having issues with, and I've now been able to correct that here within SolidWorks itself. So you pick a band, go edit in context, that brings it up this part, and I'll go through the creation of it here real quick. You basically start off with a bar that you want to cut your ring out of. You define a bunch of planes. Once you define the planes, you split the bar up into a bunch of little pieces. Here you got a grid pattern that looks very reminiscent of what you saw in that paint program. I now just keep the pieces that I want for the band I'm working on. I define a couple more planes and split, so I'm now just looking at the part of the band that I'm going to use in the ring. I move some faces, so here you can see I've moved parts of the ring up and down. This allows for the other bands to go under and over where they need to. I now do a combine, which combines all of these into one piece, so it's now just one part. I do some filleting to smooth things out. I chamfer it so I don't have vertical walls. If I left the vertical walls there, the bands would be locked to each other in the solid state. I do a moves and make things a little bit smaller. This way, when I print it in a solid state, this face here isn't going to be against the bottom face of the ring that goes, band that goes over it. So there's now a 0.2 millimeter spacing between the bands. My scale thing, the stretching out so there's enough material there to go all the way around your finger. I do some more filleting. This is just sort of detail work. Do some filleting here on this side. Just part here is the outer edge of the ring. So you don't want a 90-degree angle there because you'll feel it with your finger. On the other side, you leave the 90 degrees because there's another band there it's going to be up against. And then I do some moving here, I think making it smaller in the vertical direction here so it doesn't touch the other band on this side of it. And the problem with the stuff that's causing all the problems with the mesh is this very last one here, this flex operation. If I open this up here, this is an unmodified part. And it looks like this. You see a 360-degree bend of the part. It's got to specify a radius, which is 10.28 for a size 11 ring, which is the size of my finger. And this flex option setting, which I'd ignored down here before, if you put your pointer on it, it says that's a flex accuracy setting. It's set to the lower side of things. So I went through and tested some of these entries. Put in 360 to make sure it was exactly 360. I want this to be 10.28. And I hit enter. And you'll note that SolidWorks itself added on 0.05 degrees to that flex parameter. What I think is going on here is it wants it to actually flex, so there's a little bit of overlap on the two ends of the band to help facilitate those end caps. And I think it's part of those end caps that were left when this was left at exactly 360 that Brandon then had to go in and remove manually. The other thing that I did was move this setting all the way up to the maximum accuracy, and then I'll save this part. So file save, file close, it now updates the original packing. And then you've got this part here, and then now I can save this as an STL file, and it will not have the problem that I had to have Brandon correct for me before. So anyway, that's what I'm doing in SolidWorks. Thanks for your time.